Hello, I am Umbrenero and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is diamond painting. So, I've had this diamond painting sitting around for quite a while, and I decided to finally get to it and see how far I could go. So, all the clips of this video are 30 seconds long. Originally, most of these clips were 16 minutes each. So, you can say this took me a long time to do. And this is a time lapse of how I got this large diamond painting done in a couple days. So this is a diamond painting that wasn't the whole thing had to be done. It was just the image itself. And we will hang these up as little decorations in areas in our house because, you know, it's kind of nice just having something different. Like, I was jumping around and wanted to do the eyes and get that color done so early because I did not want to have to go and do some of this color, go do a little bit of that. I didn't want to do that per section, but that's kind of what I ended up doing. Is I decided on a size of section I wanted to work on, and then I did all of the dots in that section of that color at a time. And just thinking of how long this took me to do, it doesn't surprise me. It's just, it was a lot because I'm doing another diamond painting just for fun now that is going to be a lot more work than this one actually was. So what I was doing before was I had a couple diamonds of certain colors left in the tray, so I was bringing them to the opposite side to use them up so I didn't have to put just a couple little dots back into the bags that they belonged in. I figured it was easier just to use them up on a different area, so that way I was saving time from trying to get them in the bag if they spilled, didn't have to pick them up and all of that. But no, this diamond painting was of a little black lab puppy that we found this at the store, and you know, I wanted to do it because why not? It's something different, and I didn't have to be overly creative for it. It was just a lot of mindless work of putting the dots in the right spot. Because I used to love doing the color by number things, and this just brought me back to it. So one of the things I was doing is I was dumping 2 different color dots in my tray at a time, especially if I had a good number of both colors in the same area, and I made sure they were completely different colors. So in this case, we had a lighter gray and a dark gray. So I used my ruler there to help me keep track of just the section I was working in, because I was straying away from my line every once in a while, and I found that this helped me not do that. Because then once I was done with a section, I cut the plastic film off of that area and folded it back to the next area. And people have their own ways of doing things, and this is just what I decided was easier for me for this project. So there were a lot of black diamonds I had to put in here. That took probably the longest to do, because there were a couple times where they accidentally fell into the wrong spot, so I had to push them over or try to move them without ruining the adhesive on the picture itself. But that was another section done, and now it was time to go to the next one. So, the same pattern as I was doing before. And normally the plastic film that is on these covers the entire image area, and sometimes even beyond the part that actually has the adhesive. But I actually cut the film down so that way it was only around the adhesive area, so that way I wasn't folding back a lot of plastic that wasn't getting used. I just wanted to deal with the area I needed to deal with. And as you can see in the little bottom right corner there, that's where I was putting all of the extra diamonds that I had accidentally poured into my little tray as I was going. Because it's like, why not? I'm filling in this area as I go. And I started doing that with the ear on the top as well for the extra. Because I did not want to go and put stuff back in the bag. If I didn't have to, I wasn't going to. And I actually ripped that plastic in half on that side, just so that way I could work on that lower area without having to make the top open. So I was almost to the halfway point by here, and I was feeling it in my back because being bent over the table for as long as I was to work on this, it starts to affect you. But this was starting to look pretty cute. I think around here is where I started going. I am leaving the ruler right where it is and doing anything around it that I can that I don't have to move the ruler for. So that means doing the little white highlight on the dog's forehead or doing the little eye. But one thing I made sure to do was make sure I was pushing down on the diamonds as I was going, so that way they didn't come up and get stuck somewhere else, like get stuck to me for whatever reason. So now instead of doing the nice lined sections, I was just doing the little blobs. And that's honestly the best way to describe the sections I did from here on out. So, like I had done previously, I made the plastic areas smaller so that way I only had to have the area I was working on pulled up at a time. It was just so much easier than doing the whole sheet off and then putting it back on, hoping it lines up correctly and all of that. It's like, nope, I'm going to do this section because I don't know if I'm getting back to this today or if I'm coming back to this tomorrow. Because there were a couple days while I was working on this that I didn't do them consecutive days, but I skipped a day here or there depending on how I felt. So the way that I got this one hung, and another one that I had finished before this one, was we actually went and found frames that they would fit in. And I cut off that white border that's all the way around it, so that way it's gone because I don't need to know what color these were. Like these dots, what one was this shape, what was that, because I don't need to redo it. And so I cut that off and we ended up putting it in the frame and putting the plexiglass over the top of the dots so that way they're secured. They should not come off. But it took time because buying the frame and actually remembering to put it in the frame, those are challenges on their own, especially when you're busy. So when I got to this point, I knew I was in that home stretch because it was just this one line right down the center of the photo that was left. And seeing my finish line, it really made it go a lot faster than it felt. Like, yes, this still took an hour to do this whole center line here, but it did not feel like that at the time. Getting all the work done around the snoot of the pup, just getting there, you could tell you were getting close to the end by this point, and you just wanted to get it done, and that's how I had gotten around here. because there was not many colors left to put in, and really only the final touches were left. In all, it turned out pretty good, and it looks pretty cute up on the wall where I do have it hanging. So, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!